Well, welcome everyone. This is Cristina Viera, Regional Vice President here with Inspire Nations. And I am so excited to share with you guys tonight's call, which is featuring Executive National Vice President Claire Risoli. Claire Risoli, I'm going to get right into this, is just someone that I dearly look up to. I won't take a whole lot of time giving her all the accolades. I'll do that afterwards. But we wanted to share a little bit about what Arbonne is, who our company, like who we are in our company, what we represent. And to help us tonight is Sela Ferry. She's a district manager on my team. And Sela's going to give us a couple of questions that some people have put together in regards to, you know, your typical Q&A. So Sela, I'll go ahead and just turn it right over to you.
Hey, thanks, Cristina. Thanks so much, Claire, for talking to us tonight. You have no idea how much that means to us. So I guess we can just start. We'll start with both of you, but we'll start with Claire first. So just share a little bit about your background and how you were introduced to Arbonne.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor and a privilege to be on these calls. Of course, my dog only starts barking when I start Arbonne Zoom calls. He's quiet throughout the day. So that's Paco, by the way. My name is Claire Risoli, and I am an independent consultant and executive national vice president with Arbonne. I'm based out of Los Angeles. I am a mom. I have a 13-year-old son. I also have my hands in a traditional business. I owned a modern Mexican concept called Pocha. My hat actually is just coming home from my other gig. And that's actually something that I started because of Arbonne. So earnings.arbonne.com. I'm going on my 12th year in Arbonne, and I'll explain why I said earnings.arbonne.com. I'm going on my 12th year in Arbonne, and my background is actually in entertainment and Latino marketing and advertising. I was a freelance producer working in marketing and Latino marketing for probably almost a good 15 years. Didn't imagine doing anything else, even though I didn't love what I was doing. I was just sort of riding the horse in the direction that it was running. I went to college for marketing. I had kind of put dreams of an entertainment career on the back burner. I was a child actor and singer, signed artist growing up. And it was, you know, it's fun, you know, being an artist, but not so fun when you're a parent and you're kind of a starving artist. So I really put my degree to work and found myself moving up the corporate ladder in the marketing and advertising world. My mom was super proud of me. That made me feel great. She is an immigrant. She's from Mexico. She came here for the American dream. And I found myself living her idea of the American dream. And honestly, I was just sort of living in quiet desperation, like I think a lot of people are. A lot of us, you know, we're just doing what we were taught to do. I was taught to go to school and work really hard. And that's what I was doing. And I just didn't see all the big dreams that I had. I didn't feel like the path that I was on was going to get me there. So I was introduced to Arbonne by a stranger, pretty much. I was at a Christmas party for a TV show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I just network marketed that show. And I met a woman there who was just there tagging along with her husband. She lived in New York. She just happened to be in Los Angeles for the weekend. And we connected. We just, you know, talked for a few minutes. We learned that we had, you know, similar backgrounds. She also worked in marketing and advertising. She was a mom, blah, blah, blah. We became Facebook friends, just kind of, you know, oh, are you on Facebook? Oh yeah, Facebook, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. I don't think she thought anything of it either, until she went back home and she heard about this amazing opportunity and company called Arbonne. And the person who was getting her started, like a good mentor, said, put on your global thinking cap, think about people who you might know, who this might be a great fit for business-wise. And I made the top of her list somehow. I think top of mind awareness. She just remembered that she had just met this girl named Claire in LA. So she sent me a Facebook message asking me if I was open to learning a little bit more about this business. I didn't know what she was talking about. I actually thought she was offering me like an interview for the marketing department at this company called Arbonne. So when I got on the phone with her, I quickly learned that it was not that kind of business. And I scoffed a little bit. And I say that because she really impressed me. Like I really joined Carrie. I decided to jump into Arbonne because I was really impressed by Carrie. She had business acumen. She was smart. She was savvy. Her husband was the CFO of Maxim magazine. Like these were really professional people. And so I thought, you know what? The life that I'm living right now isn't exactly what I would call living my best life. And I wasn't about to give up everything that I was doing to start this Arbonne thing. But I thought at least I could do this Arbonne thing until I figured out what I was going to do next. So cut to 10, 11 years later. And it's really been entrepreneur school for me. I'm one of those people who took the ball and ran with it. I'm one of those people who I didn't know anything about network marketing. I thought I knew what it was, but I really became a student of the profession. And I think one of my greatest gifts is that I do have a pretty sick work ethic. I do, no matter what I do, that's just who I am. And when I take something seriously, I really take something seriously. So I've taken this seriously. I've treated it like a business. I fell in love with the company. I fell in love with the products. I fell in love with the opportunity. I fell in love with sharing it. And I started falling in love with my life again. So it really opened my eyes to just possibilities. I decided to start my own brand. I love the Arbonne brand. It's products and a company and a brand that I will get behind forever. But I also wanted to have my own brand that I built from the ground up. And Arbonne really gave me the courage, the resources, the mindset. And when I say resources, I'm talking about like the mental, resources, but also the financial ones. And I said earnings.arbonne.com because my results are not typical. The people that get to the top 1% of anything were not typical. But if you're the kind of person who is willing to learn the skills to get to the top 1%, it's a level playing field. It's for whoever wants to take the ball and run with it. So that's probably way too long of an introduction, but that's a little bit about me and my trajectory.
No, not at all. We're hanging on to every word. Yeah, same for you. So share a little bit about your background and how you were introduced into Arbonne.
Oh, my background. Well, my background is in property management. When I was introduced to Arbonne, I was working in corporate America. I was also in like mortgages and finance. I was a single mom to my son. I had my son when I was in college, actually, and I was in school. I quit school to basically just work in the corporate world because when I was in college, my major was elementary education. And I knew when I found out that I was pregnant and I would have to raise him alone on a single income, I thought, well, this isn't going to really work out for me being a school teacher on a single income. So I did what I thought was the best thing to do, and that was to go to corporate. And I did really well. I worked more like in the Orlando area, in the Orlando market, and I loved who I worked for. I was always in a really, really good environment. But I was really, really desperate isn't the word. I felt like I was just broken. I felt like I was constantly torn between wanting to be the best mom, but also needing to be the best provider. And male or female, houses now in the market and where we're at, especially here in Florida, we're not used to this. We're not used to these prices over here and where the real estate market is going. And most homes require a double income. And so when I was introduced to Arbonne, I was making six figures. I was doing really well as a single mom. I wasn't interested in doing anything like this. And my personality nature is very introverted. So when I thought this was, or what I thought this was, I thought, oh God, am I gonna have to sell something? Am I having to be somebody that I'm not? And I honestly thought, I don't mean this in any kind of offensive way, I honestly thought that this was something that privileged stay-at-home moms did when they were bored in between lunch dates and shopping at Hobby Lobby and in between yoga practice. I thought that this is what that environment type thing was. And I am so grateful that I got exposed to all different walks of life in different cultures with people that were completely different from me, but also very much the same. And that's where I started to go, Cristina, you might need to kind of look into this and see what this actually is. Because what had happened is the market crashed. I joined Arbonne in 2007 and the market crashed in 2008. So my six-figure income went from six figures down to absolutely nothing. So I ended up with no college degree, the only thing on my resume was really mortgages, real estate, and some property management. And the mortgage word was like the bad word back then. So no company would even take a look at my resume. And I found myself working at a local jewelry store for $9 an hour. I made more money in high school. So there I was. I had my son in a private school. We moved into a really teeny tiny condo with a couple of bags of, like, literally trash bags of clothes. And that's where I had to basically start over. I did replace my corporate income, again, earnings.arbonne.com, through our company, and Arbonne has been my main source of income for, I don't know, about for a couple of years, or for more than 5 years. The reason why I'm going through like all of my background and history is because the most compelling thing for me to share with people when I talk to my story is that I'm so glad I actually said yes and took a deeper look into what this was and started somewhere. I wasn't really good at this at first. I wasn't very coachable. I was really timid, and anybody can do this in any kind of way, but I wasn't really that committed. I was afraid. But once I actually committed and I said, I shut the back door, the possibilities became endless. And it's the best, it is the best and most smartest and most fruitful decision that I've ever made, because of the lifestyle that I was able to build for myself and my son. My son is now in college. He is graduating from the University of Central Florida next spring with a major in communications and a minor in sports business. And he has gotten to see who I became in the process. And I've been able to lead the way in showing him what was possible. I've had a small part in changing so many lives around us just by introducing this opportunity to them, whether they wanted to make a couple $100 to $1,000 a month, or whether they needed to and wanted to replace a corporate income like I did. It's an even playing field for everyone, and there's a place for everyone. I know Arbonne isn't for everyone, but it can be for anyone. And that was something that was very, very, very attracted to. That's about it.
Thank you. All right, this next one is to Ms. Claire. Can you give a snapshot of Arbonne and what is so different about this brand and this business model?
Well, I will say that this is the only network marketing company that I've ever participated in. But what I have learned that as a brand, we are a market leader. We're a market leader in safe, high performance health and wellness products. We're all about holistic health, combining the mind, body, and skin connection. We offer products for healthy living inside and out. As a business, we are a 42-year-old, rock solid, almost billion-dollar company that offers a mobile global e-commerce business opportunity to anyone over 18. I always say anyone over 18 who has a little bit of guts, a little bit of brains, and a little bit of courage. We're currently in 6 countries: the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, Poland, and New Zealand, with many more places to go and to grow. I will confess that I am particularly excited about the Latin market. I am fluent in Spanish, but even if you aren't fluent in Spanish, I bet you know someone who is. We will be expanding into some Latin American countries, and that's something that's happening within the next, 18 months or so. Don't quote me, but it's in the very near future. What I really love about this company is the community. I think now, especially just after the last couple of years, what we're all really, really craving is community. We're passionate people who voluntarily come together to help ourselves. And that is, we are a volunteer army. Those of us who choose to be independent consultants, we are a volunteer army. I have a huge team, but nobody reports to me. Nobody owes me any quotas. Nobody has to do anything. I always say that the best thing about this business is you don't have a boss, and the worst thing about this business is you don't have a boss. So there is that, that volunteer group of people coming together to help ourselves, to support each other, to feel better, to look better, to live better. Who doesn't want that? We just really support each other in life and the pursuit of our goals. I also believe that this is sort of a movement. I think we're going through, there's this whole conversation going on right now about the great resignation. People want their lives back. We learned what it was like to work from home. And that was kind of lonely, which is kind of cool because then we have that community component. So it does get a little lonely, but we do have the community. So it really bridges that gap. But as a movement, we're really part of a clean products revolution. We're about empowerment. We're about transparency. We're about sustainability. Those aren't just buzzwords, you guys. Those are things that are just really relevant today more than ever. We're really voting with our dollars every day by saying yes to Arbonne. Yes, when you're saying yes to Arbonne, when you say yes to the Arbonne products, you're really saying yes to safety and to no toxins. Plus, Arbonne is a certified B Corporation. I had no idea what that was, what it means is that unlike most companies, we voluntarily use business as a force for good. Every time you purchase Arbonne, you're supporting a company that puts just as much value on the planet and the people as it does on profits. We have a charitable foundation which focuses on children and their mental well-being. I'm really proud of that. It's just really a company that I can get behind. Arbonne sits at the intersection of 4 huge worldwide trends: health and wellness, everybody wants it; internet shopping, everybody's doing it; social media, look at us, here we are, we're on it; and phone-based business. So being at that intersection makes our business model viable, sustainable, and stable. And last but not least, these are products that you use every single day. This is stuff that you use every single day. So you can either continue to build other brands just by virtue, by default, just as being a consumer, or you can start purchasing from your own store, teach people how to do the same, and build an income. So these are things that you use every day: it's shampoo, soap, protein powder, lotion. We have over 250 daily consumable products. Why build another brand when you can align yourself with a brand that actually pays you to participate in the system that you're already participating in? So that's a little bit on that.
Good point. All right, next to Cristina. What was so intriguing to you about the business opportunity when you did finally say yes?
The community. The community. I can't describe what it's like to be around people who actually cheer you on in what your personal dreams and goals are without expectation. They have no expectation. And, I mentioned before, I've been in pretty good environments since, my current careers and everything, but there's always an element of threat. If you do too well, you could be threatening, somebody else in the department, or, maybe your boss's job. I've never experienced that, but there's an element of, you're still a number, you're very replaceable. And ultimately my job at a corporate type setting like that is to deliver a result to meet someone else's expectations, which is, no matter what business you're in, you could be a school teacher, it's still a bottom line. There's still an expectation set on you. And what was most attractive to me was, it really was this odd mind shift where I had to, I don't know, I had trust issues or something, because I'm like, wait a minute, why are you being so nice to me? You're not even, Claire doesn't even financially profit from anything that I do, or vice versa. And she's just taking time out of her incredibly productive and purposeful schedule to pour into to this. And that was, I don't even know if that was intriguing. I think I was in shock. So it's the community. And what was important to me, was having time freedom with financial stability as well. And I had a team of people that were cheering me on, and that is very, very rare. And, I know that I'm just gonna say this really quickly. I know that there is a stigma around network marketing, and rightfully so. I think there are a lot of companies that do a lot of things the wrong way, and there is a lot of what's in it for me. And I heard a quote that said, income, because you because you want more income does not make you a greedy person. Greedy people are greedy. Well, creepy people are creepy. That makes sense. I think every industry has someone that's a little bit weird. And so I know there's a lot of people that have been burned by network marketing and have been and are very hesitant to even give it a try because of the experiences either they have had or the experiences they've known someone else. And that, I think, is what I stand so proud in who we are as a culture and how classy we are, because from the very beginning, in the 14 years that I've been on Arbonne, no one has ever put some monetary goal in front of me and say, here, and dangled it like a carrot and said, go chase this. Never once did anyone make this about a monetary goal. It was about your paycheck is a direct reflection of how many lives you've changed. And that was, it really was a culture shock to me. 1 in 3 homes right now in the US has a network marketing company or some kind of home-based business. If you are at all even considering some type of side gig, I would strongly recommend research the culture. I am a firm believer that Arbonne is the #1 company on the planet, for the planet, but for people also, because of our class, because of our culture, because of our compassion. And really, honestly, it boils down to our motives. I think that they're just as pure as the ingredients. And that was a big deal for me. I didn't want to put my name on something where it didn't feel good. If I wanted another job where I could just go chase the dollar or just go make, just make an income, then I would have stayed with corporate, or I would have settled somewhere else. This has meaning to it.
Good answer. Thank you. All right, Claire, back to you. What has been the most gratifying part of your business journey? This is a 2-part question. So that's the first part.
Okay. What's the most gratifying part about my Arbonne journey? Okay, so full transparency, I 100% joined Arbonne because of what I could get. I saw the compensation plan and I heard that people were doing it, that wasn't like, just unicorns out there doing it. Like, there are real people doing it and a lot of people doing it. So that's why I joined. Why I stayed, totally different. So I started realizing along my Arbonne journey that I had much bigger problems in this world to solve beyond paying my own mortgage, right? But I couldn't see beyond paying my own mortgage because I was barely getting by just in life. So that's just the way I was thinking and how I was taught to think. And I was just in survival mode. Once you get to a certain point in your Arbonne journey, you realize that this is really about, helping people. Cristina, you said it, like our checks are really just a reflection or in direct proportion to how many lives we've changed. So I started seeing other people's lives change. Mine changed drastically, but I started seeing other people's lives change. So for example, I'm not going to say names, but I have a couple who did not have a child when they started their Arbonne business. They do now, and she turns out it's a very special needs child. I was able to bring those 2 people home from their careers to be fully present parents, and they are doing this with their Arbonne income. I have someone on my team who I grew up with, and she was not a single parent when she joined her Arbonne, or when she joined my Arbonne team, but experienced her spouse died. And she suddenly overnight became a single parent. Because of Arbonne, she was able to be totally present for her children during that time, and continues to be totally present for her children, just to see what it does for people. I had no idea that I was going to be preparing myself or other people for impact. And we never know when that impact is going to hit. Most of us think that we're immune or exempt, but we're not. So Arbonne is something that you build before you need it.
Well, actually, you just answered the second part of the question, was, giving some examples of how the business, and the brand has impacted your life and many others on your team. So yeah, that's exactly.
I would like to add one more thing that, just has to do with something personally. So I was not a product person. I wasn't a health and wellness person. I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now. But just as a result of being a product of the product, I'm not supposed to make these kinds of claims because we're not, a diet program or anything, but I just really adopted the lifestyle. I really started just developing better habits, taking care of myself, incorporating the products into my life. My skin's better, my health is better, my energy's better. And I believe I'm showing my son how to live a healthier and longer life. I think that has a lot of value.
That's a fact. Kids are always watching.
Always.
Always. Marina Bertram reminded us several years ago at GTC. Okay, Cristina, if you could go back to when you started your business and say something to the new consultant, Cristina, what would it be?
Don't listen to everybody else. Don't take advice from someone else that doesn't have a life that you want. That's what I would tell myself. I'm telling you guys, seek out the life that you want. Don't listen. Most people are uncomfortable, and our natural answer is no. It's a self-protective thing, and most people don't want to be uncomfortable to do what. Don't listen. That's all I'm going to say. I think we have about 6 minutes left. I'm sorry, Sela.
Okay, that's right.
That's what I would tell the old Cristina.
The old Cristina? Okay.
Yeah.
Back to Claire. What would be your biggest piece of advice for a new builder?
Follow the system. Sorry, I don't know how to get that out there. Follow the system. Be coachable. I know for myself, I came from a background of entertainment, marketing, advertising. The system was so simple that it almost embarrassed me. Like I was an experiential events producer. I needed to make a big splash. That was a lot of energy. That was a lot of money, and that was a lot of time. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think that the simplicity of it is almost like it's shocking, but we try to reinvent the wheel. We try to say that, okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to try it, the way that I'm most comfortable, the way that I know how. I don't recommend that. I really recommend that you follow the system. Do it. Use the scripts until you don't need the scripts anymore, until it becomes a part of you. Be coachable. Read books, personal development. Your business will only grow as big as your own belief in yourself. And you really do need to become a student of this profession. Really wrap your brain around network marketing. And I think we underestimate, or what is it? We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years and 10 years. So just know that this is a long-term strategy. It's not an overnight get rich quick scheme. No legitimate business is.
Thank you. All right, very last one. I don't know how much time we have, Cristina, but real quick, Claire, we're talking to you. So just describe Arbonne in one word.
One word. Hope. Hope. I think we're hope dealers. I think that, yeah, hope.
Cristina, describe Arbonne in one word.
I was like getting emotional when she said that, because it is about what your life would look like if somebody wouldn't have said yes, like to blessing. When I met my national vice president, Carla Driscoll, for the first time, I knew when she looked at me and she knew my son's name and I had worked, I just knew. I thought, this lady doesn't even know who I am. And I was just an independent consultant, broken and in the worst place in my life. And I knew this was something so big, and I couldn't walk away from that chance.
Thank you guys both so much. You have just, given so many nuggets of wisdom and poured into us. And we really appreciate you, Claire, taking some time out to talk to us tonight.
It is so my pleasure. Thank you for asking me to participate in this. I'm really honored. Thank you.
We love you, Claire. We can't wait to see you in Vegas.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for spending your time with us. You could have spent your time anywhere else, so we value you. And please get with the person that invited you. We don't do spam invites, so it is very intentional that you're on this call because you mean someone to that person. And so just circle back with the person that invited you. We appreciate you guys and we love you. Have an amazing, amazing night.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.